Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday Recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games, and as always we'll start with EVE Online. I played a decent amount of EVE Online, mostly doing a bit of exploration and running some of the sites for the current event. Not that I feel any pressure to really rush through them or anything like that. I'm just, exploring around a little bit and including some of those data sites, for instance. Not sure where everything will be heading, but from what I've been seeing from Fanfest, this should be part of an arc, and I will of course try to keep an eye on all of that and keep you guys up to date on that as well. For the more passive stuff, PI, actually a bit of a surprise rebound this week. If you watch EVE Talk, you could see that a lot of them have gone back up, and Coolants, for instance, that had lost a lot of ground but was at like super high price above 10,000 disc, actually making its way back up above 8,000 as well. So I would say we're getting reasonable prices, and I'm back in the phase where I'm selling a little bit and also keeping some stuff for hopefully better prices later down the line. The BPC business is a little bit of a mixed bag this week. Some of them are selling like hotcakes and others really not. For instance, the Dreadnoughts, I thought we would get a lot more demand across the board, but the Galente Moros BPC, for instance, not selling at all. Still have two of them up on the contracts from last week, and it's like less than 3 million, I think, for one. And then you get the Caldari Phoenix blueprints. All of those are selling almost immediately, and prices go up to 20 million ISK almost. So it's really crazy how different it is just from one chip to another, despite the fact that they're both Dreadnoughts. But alright, we can try to adapt a little bit and try to make as much ISK as possible from some of these high demand BPCs that do seem to to have really high price of. I mean, those are huge margins if you can sell a Dreadnought BPC for almost 20 million ISK. So that's, I would say, going pretty well as well. But then I'm also doing a little bit of transportation. Another batch of those really large bulky capital items has been moved to Amar. There's like 5 or 6 of them left, I think, so quite a few trips still to do, but I am also starting to feel like we're getting to the end of that, and honestly then almost all the stuff that I want to have moved in the large trade hubs will have been moved into the trade hubs. And looking at Fanfest, I am starting to plan probably a move for most of my activity from a Mars space back to Galente space, because the part that I liked the best so far from the EVE keynote is CCP Aurora's part, where she explained the idea around allegiances and then the changes to faction warfare. But I immediately also made the link between the arcs and the way the CCP wants to bring out new content and the allegiance system, with giving you special goals and things like that to do from the faction that you're supporting. They could easily expand that to tell more story stuff, to try to get you to certain parts of space and things like that. And if I had to choose the first allegiance for my character, it would be the Galente Federation. So in all likeliness, I want to basically wrap up what I still have to do in a Mars space and then plan a move to Galente space, including my PI stuff, because quite a few of you guys mentioned that there's actually way cheaper planets for export in Galente space. So definitely something that I'm playing with at the moment, and it's the likely path forward for me in EVE Online is wrap things up in a Mars space, consolidate everything there, and then make a jump clone to Galente space and try to build up there for daily activities and things like that. I think it could be really cool, and honestly, I know that there's a lot of negativity around Fanfest, but someone mentioned it as well in the comments on the EVE Talk video, that the arcs that CCP is planning is basically an evolution from the quadrants into a way for them to hopefully deliver larger content packages that come closer to what we would know as an expansion. And an arc has been started and is planned to end towards the end of the year. So we'll have to see. Of course, CCP does have to step up from the regular events that we're seeing at the moment into something far more concrete and far more meaty, but I'll be along for the ride, and I'm definitely curious to see where all of that is going. And then finally, we also have Heraldry. Honestly, for me, it is something that I kind of like to put a little bit of time in, not to grind like a complete madman, but having that option, something that will be purely yours, that will not be tradable, that will basically show off your accomplishments into the game. I've been playing the game for quite a long time. There's definitely a couple of ships that I would love to pimp out with an Alliance logo, with some extra bells and whistles. So overall, yeah, for Fanfest, I'm not super excited. I can't say that I'm gonna start to play EVE Online in a hardcore way, or that there's a new long-term goal or something like that that I've been able to formulate, but I can see myself keep playing the way EVE Online in the way I've been playing for the last year or so, in a pretty casual way, but still probably getting pretty easily my 20-30 hours a month, so I do get a sub out of my EVE Online playtime personally. And with EVE Online staying in casual mode, I also have a little bit of time for other stuff. And so for the rest of next week and during the last week, I also played a little bit more Vampire Survivors, trying to knock out a couple more of those challenges. It's actually a little bit easier now that I've got quite a few of those power-ups unlocked, and I can pretty reliably do the 30 minutes and get a character to level 100. So that's going really well. But then of course we'll have Path of Exile as well, that has the Sentinel League that's coming out on Friday next week. I look forward to that a lot. Got a couple of characters planned as well, and that's probably going to become center stage for the weeks after the launch of the new league. And after that, of course, as always, we'll probably evolve towards a little bit less Path of Exile and adding in some more EVE Online gameplay as well. But I look forward to that league, and I'm definitely going to do my best to enjoy that as much as possible. And that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.